I'm not sure if you guys watched this yesterday, but Brett Phillips, the outfielder for the Tampa Bay Rays, turned in one of the most entertaining relief appearances in the history of baseball. We're going to break it down later on in the video. What's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We have a lot to talk about today, so if this is your first time on the channel, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. We do that every single day, as well as use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek if you are going to any baseball games anytime soon. Save yourself 20 bucks off your entire order. We have Shohei Ohtani making history again. Ronald Acuña Jr. was hit again by the Miami Marlins, and a pitcher ended up getting ejected. And then we also, like we mentioned in the intro, have to break down that Brett Phillips relieving moment because it was a lot of fun. Let's talk about the three walk-offs from yesterday, shall we? We have the Phillies versus the Padres, and I completely forgot that Didi Gregorius was even a thing because he was on the IL for so long. I just kind of forgot he existed. The score was 3-0 for Zack Wheeler. He goes almost 8 scoreless innings with 9 strikeouts on 0 walks. He was electric, and guess what happens? The Phillies bullpen does it again. They blow another save. I cannot believe that their bullpen has been that bad for 2 consecutive seasons. Luckily for the Phillies, Brad Miller was able to walk it off, but Zack Wheeler is now number 1 in innings pitched, strikeouts, and he has a 2.05 ERA, and I'm not even sure if he's going to be an all-star. He better be. So that was the first walk-off from yesterday. We have 2 more to talk about. The Mariners versus the Rangers. An error and Charlie Culberson make it a quick 3-0 lead for the Texas Rangers, but then Jake Fraley, who has been a monster this year, hits a home run, which was the only earned run given up for Kyle Gibson. He lowered his ERA to 1.98, and he has an insane 4.4 WAR on the season. Jake Fraley was not done yet, though. He makes a fantastic catch later on in the game, and we have to talk about him one more time, but before we do that, Luis Torrens, he ties it up, and then J.P. Crawford, he gives the Mariners a lead, which did not last very long, as Jonah Heim sends it to extras, and this is where we have to talk about Jake Fraley again. He walks it off on this single. He has 7 home runs and an almost 180 OPS plus on the season. He has been a monster offensively and defensively. He's really good. All right, the final walk-off from yesterday. This is coming from the Angels versus the Orioles. You have Jose Iglesias going up against his former team. I don't even know how he was able to hit this pitch out of the ballpark, but he ties it up at 2 apiece. The Orioles, out of nowhere, go up 6-2, and that is where Shohei Ohtani says, I got this. He goes 416 feet for homer number 29 on the season. You have Max Stassi and David Fletcher bringing it to a 1-run ball game, and then Ohtani, he completes the comeback, home run number 30 on the season. He is the first player to reach that 30 home run plateau. We have Austin Hayes tying it up with an RBI double, and then Ohtani, he uses his top 5 sprint speed. He has elite sprint speed to steal this base, and then Jared Walsh, he delivers in the clutch yet again with this walk-off single. Ohtani, he set a record yesterday for the most home runs in a season for a player that also had 10 starts as a starting pitcher. He has 30. He just passed Babe Ruth, who had 29 home runs and 10 starts. I mean, when you're passing Babe Ruth, you're doing something right. And also the fact that he still has an entire half of Major League Baseball to add to that lead. This is a record that will never be broken. And also, one more thing I do want to mention is that Ohtani became one of 6 players in Major League Baseball history to have 30 home runs and 10 stolen bases before the All-Star break. Yeah, he's also a pitcher. So let me know in the comment section down below, do you guys think that this is one of the most impressive seasons that we've ever seen from a baseball player? I'm saying right now, Ohtani, he could sit out the entire second half, and I'm still going to tell my grandkids of the 2021 first half of Shohei Ohtani. We've never seen it before. Ronald Acuña Jr. and the Miami Marlins, that is a combination that does not go together. It's kind of like oil and vinegar. They just do not mix. Acuña, he was hit for the 6th time since his debut by the Marlins, and Pablo Lopez was ejected. And I don't know if Pablo Lopez completely meant it, but you cannot keep doing this to Acuña, especially when it's on the first pitch the majority of the time. So Pablo Lopez gets ejected, and the Miami bullpen did a fantastic job. This sacrifice fly from Ozzie Albies was the only run allowed in the entire game. You have the pen for Miami going 9 innings of scoreless baseball, technically, even though they gave up that 1 run. That was courtesy of Pablo Lopez. Drew Smyly has 7 strikeouts, does not allow a single earned run, and then Dansby Swanson comes in clutch with a glove in the 7th inning, as Will Smith, he tried his best to blow that game, but luckily he was able to seal it for his 17th save of the year. and Atlanta, they escape with a 1-0 victory. The Cardinals versus the Rockies. Nolan Arenado is trying to get that first W against this team because Elias Diaz walked it off the day before. Yadier Molina kickstarts the scoring with a 2-run home run, which was his 8th home run of the season. And speaking of Elias Diaz, he has a home run in 3 consecutive games. CJ Cron, he gives the Rockies a lead on this RBI double, but then a blown save turns into a million runs for the St. Louis Cardinals as Molina and Edman drive in 2. And then Harrison Bader goes 443 feet on this grand slam. And then Alex Reyes goes 2 scoreless innings. I think he had 2 no-hit innings. He drops his season ERA to .91. He has been so good. Dodgers have been just destroying everyone in their path lately, and it continued yesterday against the Washington Nationals. Trey Turner, on this air, he gives up 2 free runs to the Dodgers as Max Scherzer, that was really all that he allowed to happen. He goes 6 dominant innings, only allows 1 earned run on 8 strikeouts, but the Nationals bullpen implodes. The Dodgers score 9 runs in the 7th inning, and speaking of 7s, they win their 7th consecutive game. They are now just a half game back of the Giants. I think they were a half game back yesterday. But one more thing I do want to show from yesterday's Nationals-Dodgers game. Look at this throw from Victor Robles. He misjudged this ball, so he kind of caught it going backwards, and then he almost threw it flat-footed, and he still threw out Mookie Betts. So between Mookie Betts, Hunter Renfroe, Victor Robles, Kevin Kiermaier, who do you guys think has the best arm in all of baseball? And I should have mentioned Aaron Judge as well. And also, how could I forget mi amigo, Joey Gallo? So if we talk about the Dodgers, we have to talk about the Giants, and they destroyed the Diamondbacks, almost the exact same score. Instead of 10-5, it was 11-4. Mike Yastrzemski drives in an RBI to the right side, and then Alex Dickerson hits another home run. He has been very underrated. Absolutely no one talks about him, but he has been very productive since his debut. Wilmer Flores and Estrada to make it a 5-run inning, and Alex Wood struck out 8 different Diamondbacks in 5 innings. Lamont Wade Jr. now has 7 home runs and a 140 OPS plus, and then I do want to mention that former Yankee Thairo Estrada breaks it open with a grand slam as the Giants, again, they keep pace with the Dodgers. They refuse to give up that lead. They win 11-4 against the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks suck. Who doesn't suck? The Boston Red Sox. You have Tony Kemp on this failure of a dive. I mean, I appreciate the attempt, but he allowed Devers to get a free RBI, and then Alex Verdugo singles later on in the game as Eduardo Rodriguez goes 6 scoreless innings. Now, the Sox bullpen does allow a few home runs to Jed Lowry and Elvis Andrus, so they blow the save, but this allows Kike Hernandez to drive in the game-winning run, and then he makes the throw of the year in a lot of people's opinion because it saved the game. The Red Sox, they end up getting that final out, and they get their 8th win in a row. Offense has been exploding lately, and I just have to say, good job to Major League Baseball for correcting the issue that was spin rate, even though it took a long time for them to do it, because the Jays, they are much more fun when they're scoring 11 runs a game. George Springer hits a 2-run shot. Lourdes Gurriel, this RBI double starts a 4-run 2nd inning, and then Alek Manoah was sensational after he was suspended for hitting. I can't remember who he hit it, but he goes 7 scoreless with 10 strikeouts, and at one point, he struck out 7 hitters in a row. Marcus Semien has 21 home runs. I mean, I can't believe I'm even saying that before the All-Star break. Vlad Jr. added another one to his total. He now has 27 on the season, and then Brett Phillips, the score was way out of hand, so he comes in and delivers one of the most entertaining relief appearances I've ever seen. He was sprinting from the bullpen. He was just making a fool of the game of baseball, but when you're losing by 9 runs, I don't really care. Yasmani Grandal continues to defy the old school game of baseball because he has a sub-200 batting average, but he is still performing at an elite level. He actually might be an all-star. Brian Goodwin laces an RBI triple, and then Andrew Vaughn saves a fantastic performance for Lance Lynn. Lance goes 6 innings, only allows 1 earned run with 9 strikeouts. Jake Berger, I do want to show the miscommunication from the Tigers. He gets his first career base hit. He had 2 on the day, and Andrew Vaughn goes 423. It was then followed up by Gavin Sheets, who has been electric so far in his first 4 games. With this 3-run home run, he shows some insane pop and just raw power. The White Sox win 5 games in a row. They're 6 games ahead of anyone because, again, Cleveland has been decimated by injury. But I do want to mention, for the Tigers, we always talk about him, Akil Baddoo. We are the Akil Baddoo fanboy YouTube channel. He had 2 stolen bases. He now has 12 on the season. He doesn't even have 200 at-bats, so he is stealing at an elite clip. Willy Adames is playing like a top 5 shortstop for the Brewers as the Brewers beat the Pirates 7-2 courtesy of Jace Peterson. He refuses to stop demolishing baseballs. Jackie Bradley Jr. hits another one, and then Tyrone Taylor adds 2 more on this RBI triple. Adrian Hauser, now he's kind of most known for throwing up on the mound, but yesterday he threw up a great game. 1 earned run in just under 7 innings. You have Brian Reynolds, I do want to mention him for the Pirates. 15 home runs, a 161 OPS plus. Those are MVP numbers. Just unfortunately, Acuña and Tatis, they both exist.
Oh, and this guy right here. He might win.
The Brewers score a few more as they win their 10th game in a row. They're almost 8 games ahead of anyone. And when I say 8 games ahead of anyone, I include the Chicago Cubs, who have been horrible lately. They lose their 7th game in a row, even though Jason Hayward drove in an RBI double. That was it for Chicago, as Sonny Gray goes 5 innings with 8 strikeouts, and Alec Mills for the Cubs, he strikes out 9. Just unfortunately, Joey Votto drives in 2 on this double, and the Cincinnati bullpen was terrific. The Cubs lose their 7th game in a row, and the Reds are now just a half game back of Chicago. There is no hope for Cleveland for the next few weeks. Look at the, oh my God, look at this, how horrible the Cleveland rotation is right now. They're just giving up earned runs left and right. When you're playing the Astros, you are probably going to get swept. You have Chas McCormick with an RBI double, Jones and Correa driving a few more. The Astros end up with 6 runs before the 4th inning as McCullers strikes out 8. Now, I do want to mention that Cesar Hernandez out of nowhere has 13 home runs. The power is real, although his OPS plus is still under 100. Yeah, the Astros, they give Cleveland their 4th loss in a row. I'm having so much fun. And then last but not least, the Royals versus the Twins. Brady Singer, what are you doing, my man? Now, luckily for him, he has Salvador Perez, who hits home run number 20, and he's going to be at the home run derby. So Salvi goes yard, and then Michael Taylor ties it with 2 RBIs, I believe, and then Hanser Alberto hits a 2-run home run, and the bullpen for Kansas City only allows 1 earned run and 3 hits the last 6 innings, so they were really good. But I just have to mention, even though the Royals won 7-4 against the Twins, I expect both of these teams to be sellers. I expect Josh Donaldson to be traded, and I expect maybe Whit Merrifield to get traded. I think it's time to let him go. He deserves to win. All right, everyone. Well, that does it for today's MLB recap. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed or learned something new, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save yourself $20 off your entire baseball order if you're going to any games, and enjoy this day in MLB history.
Thome hits one pretty well. Deep left center field. White going back on the track. Goodbye, baseball! Jim Thome has done it again. 7 consecutive games with a home run.